welcome back everybody to Halo Reach. This is going to be our last episode. A quick reminder, if you're tuning in on the very last episode and didn't watch any of the other episodes, or more specifically the previous episode, I am just going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. We'll get to the end, and then we'll have, the end credits kind of play out, and then in Halo Reach there is an epilogue where you basically are designed to try to last as long as you can with wave after wave after wave after wave of enemy coming at you until eventually you take too much damage and the game goes into an end cutscene and you die. So we're not going to try to, we are going to do the epilogue. We're not going to try to go as long as we possibly can and watch the super secret ending where we get turned into glass. We're just gonna play it as it goes. If I'm gonna take too much damage at some point, obviously, and once I do, I will die, and that'll be the end of the game. We'll get the rest of the epilogue playing out, and that'll be it. As I mentioned in the previous episode, Halo Reach is not designed to be a comedy. It's not designed to be where you overthrow the flood. It is designed to very much be a victory hidden within a tragedy. Because getting Cortana off planet ultimately results in the survival and success of the human species. So even though you and all of your mates die, you accomplishing this one goal, obviously not discrediting Master Chief or anything that you do in Halos 1 through 3 at all, but getting Cortana off planet is one of the two most important things that happen that results in the victories of 1, 2, and 3. Not that, Master Chief couldn't have put up a pretty good fight by himself or whatever, but it's a tag team, if you will. You got Cortana working in the background, Master Chief killing everything. So can you do one without the other? No, because you need Cortana in Halo 1, otherwise Master Chief lights the Halo ring and extinguishes all life in the known galaxy. Why? Because he's following what Guilty Spark's telling him, which ends up being for Guilty Spark, again, it's the truth, but for us it's not. We'd rather, not eradicate all the sentient life in the galaxy. So yeah, you need both of them in order for the success. Not only the Halo 1, but some of the later Halo games are able to sort of tap in and find you the best route to go to accomplish your goals. All that's important. But I guess in terms of the way this game is set up, they're trying to emphasize the fact that, despite the fact that you die and your whole team dies and Reach falls, and that's a tragedy, one good thing does come out of all of this. And in the long run, it, like I said, it leads to your ultimate, I don't know if final victory is the right word, because I know so long as any series continues, you're going to continue to have conflict and strife, and even after say all of the Halo games are gone, done, and peace, quote unquote, peace returns to the galaxy, there'll always be people who stand opposed to you. So the world is not a fixed, okay, we got to the end and they lived happily ever after, the end. I mean, you can live happily ever after for your whole fucking life, get older, marry, make millions and billions of dollars for your children, die, you know, with a smile on your face. Ultimately, you're leaving the Earth, the universe, to the next generation. And as far as you're concerned, you've done everything you could possibly do to be a good person and give your children and possibly your grandchildren a leg up in this world. You know, give them the advantages you didn't have, and you know, within a generation or two, it can all go to pot again because different people have different opinions, and what worked in the 1950s does not work in the 2000s or the 2010s or the 2020s. So, I don't know. I'm not here to tell what is right and wrong. I don't know what truth is. It's hard to tell truth. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I thought I was dead there. Never mind. I managed to survive that somehow. I was like 90% sure he stuck me with that. Okay, I got hit with flash damage on that backhand. That may be due to the fact that I put the shield over top of the grenade. We're not too far away from being done with this area. Basically, once I take care of the jackals here, that last drop of brute is the last drop before we deliver Cortana to Keys. And then, like I said, you choose not to get on the Pelican. So you stay behind to basically make sure they get off planet. Just fine and dandy. I'm gonna be dead here in a second. But the way that's written, I feel like they'd gotten to that point, and again, I'm speculating. I don't actually know for certain. But I speculate that they sort of they had probably two different endings written up for the game at one point, and one of the endings being the one that we obviously get because, you know, Noble Six is just a Spartan. He's not Master Chief. And then I think they might have had a secondary. I don't know for certain. Like I said, they might have had a second one where, you know, at the end of the game, you end up on the Pillar of Autumn, you know, escaping, but you take, say, damage while you're escaping, and so they put you into cryostasis, and that's how the beginning of Halo 1, Master Chief's coming out of cryostasis, and it would sort of link up with some of the other stuff I talked about in the last episode, like Cortana talking about, of all the Spartans, I picked you because you had luck. But again, you know, whether or not they had planned to do that, what I'm talking about is all strictly fan fiction in my brain, or, you know, there's even a hint or an iota of truth to what I'm saying, you know. Or this is more or less a dead end. Up, he dropped his grenade right at his feet. I don't know if I did that he did that accidentally or what, but essentially tried to throw the grenade and got stuck on the door because I think I shot him at just the right time period that he tried to evade to the left. His left, that is, my right. And that resulted in him hitting the boundary and killing the both brutes. Video killed the radio star. So they, as people, if you're watching this episode as it comes out, they took recently Walmart, I guess, had some sort of scare with radioactive shrimp, or some sort of shrimp that was somewhat irradiated, and so they created someone created a song based on video killed the radio star. So I've been humming those lyrics for a bit now, all week, because of the fact that it's propagating all over not TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. It's just all over TikTok. Dead. This is one of the cheapest and most broken weapons in this whole game. You hold the button down, it charges up, and it shoots plasma grenades that home. Now, they're not perfectly homing, as you might imagine, but if you get within the distance that I am of that brute, yeah, as soon as he lets go and drops the first one of them sticky grenades, I'm dead. Like, yeah, I managed to avoid that even though it was probably headed towards me. But, yeah. And that's the end. Not the end of the game, mind you, because I still got a whole nother section to go, but this is where we're going to deliver Cortana 2 keys.
Get the package to the pad and get your ass off this plane. I've got your back.
So, between that line that he just gave me and what Keys is about to say, I'm sort of... I very much believe that they... Right here is the branch between two different endings. One where you leave with Keys, and one where you stay behind.
Not just me, sir. They'll be remembered.
Cruiser, adjusting heading for the Autumn. Noble 4, I need fire on that cruiser or we're not getting out of here. Do you copy?
I have your window, sir.
Bridge, this is the captain. We have the package. Returning to the Autumn, over.
Copy that. Who's next?
Gotcha.
I'm ready.
That's alright, he's not going down without a fight.
Lieutenant, get aboard! We gotta get the hell out of here!
Negative. I have the gun. Good luck, sir.
Good luck to you, Spartan.
So I agree I agree this is the right ending. This is the right, sort of thing you watch, minus the one that left with Halsey. You watch literally every one of the Noble 6 members die. And so, like, of course you have to go down with the ship to ensure that they get off planet. Just fine and dandy.
Noble 6, get on that mass driver and clear me a path.
But in a way, you could have written this just slightly differently. Where the other guy basically clears the area, the whatever you call it, the skies for you as you get on the pillar, of Autumn, and then in turn, you know, he gets the cutscene still happens where he gets killed by the elites at the end, but he does so in order to basically ensure that the ship does get off planet, and maybe you have like a final like little fight as you're trying to get on the Pillar of Autumn, and like I said, you get shot and they put you into stasis. That's how you become oopsie um Master Chief or whatever. But like I said, I don't mind this ending either. It's to be expected. Everybody else has basically died at this point. So why shouldn't you also, why should you be, as the player character, exempt from that? Particularly if you know that ultimately the Reach was, I wouldn't say one of the biggest disasters for the UMNC, or, yeah, U.S. Military Marine Corps, whatever it's called. I don't know. That's why people tend to, I'm not, maybe not like, tend to talk about tragedies more, because there's so many different ways that things could have gone differently, you know, that would have resulted in a quote-unquote, you know, happy ending, a comedy, if you will. But in the same regard, it tends to be more realistic as well, because generally everything does not go right for your main character. And, you know, you're going to have your ups and your downs. You're going to have your situations where, you know, you won this battle, but you didn't win the next one, and that cost you your life. But we do like the hero story more than anything, particularly if it's a happy ending. Come on, Grunty. I don't want to deal with Mr. Guy who's throwing shit at me. Well, that was close. I almost leaned into that one too.
Spartan, do you copy? Heat up that gun. We've got multiple craft bearing down on us.
Easier said than done, buddy. Got a fucking guy shooting plasma rockets at me. Of course, this makes everything simple, because that just results in you dying. I think he dropped the plasma rocket thing, which exploded. Either that or I shot him in the head and then it exploded. My buddy's right here. Sorry you died, buddy. Yeah, we're gonna hop in the cannon. Be aware of both guys that are near you and far away from you.
Driver won't crack those shields. Steady, Spartan.
So yeah, you can easily die here. You can see there's a cruiser coming in here that's going to be I'm going to need to take care of in a second.
Fire now, Lieutenant. Hit her in the gun.
Good gun, Spartan. All stations, brace for cast-off.
I like how Keys just barely kind of makes it back to the pillar as it's taking off. Gotta hurt. I'm not gonna lie, this gotta hurt. Knowing that the last ship off planet is going and you're stuck here to eventually be hunted down and eradicated.
This is the Pillar of Autumn. We're away. The package is with us.
So we've accomplished our mission essentially. And then we're going to get this epilogue here, which is literally just the beginning of Halo 1.
Cortana, all I need to know is, did we lose them?
I think we both know the answer to that.
Not sure if I mentioned this in the Halo 1 playthrough, but this, like I said, literally where this game ends is where Halo 1 picks up, because you've warped through space trying to get away from Reach, which I think they briefly mentioned in Halo 1, and you stumble upon the Halo ring. And then in the original version of this game on Xbox, there was a letter here that appeared on the right hand side that basically said, you know, hey, we're Bungie, we appreciate you playing all of this, we're moving on to bigger and better things, you know, we've always loved this franchise, or whatever it said. And then this is, like I said, this is the epilogue where you just try to last as long as you can, and you're sort of in an open arena environment, so you can have guys come from the north, south, east, or west. You sort of have to do the best you can. And then I believe your suit only has so many recharges. So as you take more and more damage, it'll just stop recharging at a certain point. And then, yeah, once you take enough damage, not even before you die, the game will switch over to the last cutscene where you're fighting the last couple guys. You see it's recharging now, but it won't. One or two more times it's not going to recharge after that. I think this is right here is going to be my last recharge. Yep. And this is the last cutscene before we get the, you know, end. Definitely don't go down without a fight. Because you've got two different guys trying to knife you here and you're taking them down. But right there, that last knife By that zealot is doomed to be your end. I think Cortana's going to say some nice things about me. About Noble Six, that is. And then
It didn't take long for Reach to
you're going to
fall.
be
Our
given
raid was
some hope.
ruthless,
The
efficient.
life will return to Reach
We weren't
eventually.
nearly fast enough. For you had already passed the torch. And because of you, we found Halo, unlocked its secrets, shattered our enemy's resolve. Our victory, your victory, was so close. I wish you could have lived to see it. But you belong to Reach. Your body, your armor, all burned and turned to glass. Everything. Except your courage. That you gave to us. And with it, we can rebuild.